All right, so I'm going to be talking about YouTube ads made simple. I put together these 6 slides just to give you an idea of how it's different, and a lot of these things you'll know, but just to look at it as framework for your ads in the future. There's a lot of advertisers since the Apple iOS, since the iPhone change, right? With iOS, the tracking. We're not getting the tracking that we used to from conversions online. So any lead conversion campaigns or any sales conversion campaigns, we're not being able to track it, which means that Facebook is having a huge challenge in letting you know as an advertiser that this person actually is a conversion and assigning a conversion value to it. So for example, a lead cost could be $10 in the past or $20 in the past, and now there's either no lead value at all and it comes through as a lead. There's no tracking involved, so you don't really have any use for the algorithm to find you more leads like that. So that's the challenge with that whole the guy had 4 conversions this week, and in the last 3 days, sorry, and only one of them was tracked, right? Which means there's a lot of people that are using the iPhone. So this brings me to YouTube. There's a lot of advertisers that are still using Facebook because Facebook's a huge audience for us to use and a great advertising structure. However, taking that same ad platform and using the methods you learned there from your funnels and campaigns and applying it to YouTube. So YouTube, we want to talk about number 1, it's a form of entertainment. Number 2, it's a search engine, and number 3, it's highly accessible. Okay, we all know this, and we know this to be true. Now we got to look at what does that mean to us as an advertiser. Well, in the second slide here, we're looking at education and entertainment and where it meets each other. So YouTube used for entertainment, used for education. This means that the best videos are the ones that are edutainment, so to speak. So a combination of the two. So this is a concept that's really going to help you guys in terms of making your videos, whether you make your videos for Facebook, Instagram, or any platform. You're looking at videos for Facebook and Instagram, which are generally doing better under a minute long. And then on YouTube, they're generally doing better from 3 to 5 minutes for an ad, okay? Now, the reason is that you're able to qualify them more on YouTube, and the YouTube watcher has a longer attention span for content consumption, right? And when you talk about edutainment, this concept of educating and entertaining at the same time, you want to really take that aspect into all your marketing practices, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, or I don't want to say TikTok because the ads there they're too overwhelming. We just want to focus on these 2 platforms, and this will give you guys a good long-term growth for your content in general, as far as repurposing content. So for example, let's say Tom shoots video and he shoots a bunch of video that he didn't use. It didn't really qualify for the educational or the entertainment aspect, or maybe it has a little bit of both, but it didn't really have the flavor that it needed to set up an ad, right? Like it didn't have that punch. Well, that content can still be repurposed and used again for your general content in your YouTube channel, in your Facebook Watch, things like that, right? In your IGTV. So it's good to use that content again and repurpose it. Any questions so far with what I'm saying here? No? Okay. I'm just going to go on to the next part. The next part here, I'm at interest versus intent-based targeting, okay? Now, the big difference between these 2 types of targeting is that interest is going to be, as it explains their interest-based, it's going to be like Sam is interested in this product, right? And then there's Matt who has more intent on buying a product. So, for example, on Facebook, you'll have more interest-heavy stuff because people are socially just going through Facebook as a social media platform, as a way just to I guess, entertain or just to pass time, whatever it may be. Like, just to give you an idea behind it, the person that founded TikTok, his aim was to target people that don't have jobs, believe it or not. People that are just sitting at home all day and they just have nothing to do and they're just on TikTok, right? So the methodology behind that was to make the short videos that people say, oh, I'll just go on for a minute. And then 30 minutes later, they're still scrolling. So that's the way that's the way that also Facebook works, but it was built on times before where people did spend a little bit more time on each post, right? That's why I'm going back to that edutainment side, that on Facebook, you can use more entertaining stuff rather than educational, okay? But then when you get to YouTube, it's gonna be more educational that entertains, if that makes sense, okay? So let's get to intent-based. Intent-based is going to be similar to you guys searching for a product, okay? So if you're literally going in and you're searching for a product, that means that you have buyer's intent. In the old days of Google search, it would be very easy to hit somebody at this. See this picture I have here? It says attention, interest, desire, action, right? In the old days with Google search, it was all about literally attention and interest was together. Even desire was all combined. There was not all these steps involved in acquiring customers. We'd literally put up an ad for the gym and we would get leads like crazy, like dollar leads, 50-cent leads, 2-cent clicks, because the buyer didn't have that much knowledge with online shopping. It was just, let me go to Google, put in my information, find what I want to find, and that's what I'm going to pick. And it's usually the first or second that they find. Now, with search words, we've got to be a little more strategic. We can't just use, let's say you're, Steel City MMA. You can't just put in like just MMA. You've got to put in a longer tail keyword. So you might have to have 3 words in it. Let's say a phrase, not even just a single word. And then on top of it, you might want to have long tail ones, right? Like the best so-and-so in town, like things like that, right? So when you get into intent-based, we're talking about using YouTube as a search engine, okay? So before I leave this slide, does anyone have any questions regarding this at all? Everyone good? Okay, let me go to the next part.
I was reading yesterday that Google's going to be drawing more attention to their own platforms now, like YouTube. I read that yesterday when they redesigned their search function this coming update.
Sorry, what is it, Matt? What are they going to do?
All Google searches are going to be more drawn towards Google products first, like the first more so than normal, like mostly
Wow.
YouTube, they were saying.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
I read that yesterday. I should send it to you if I find it again.
They already kind of do that in terms of like they're trying, if you search a business, they try to keep you on their Google business page instead of the actual company's website and stuff like that. So it's already kind of going that direction.
Yeah, you're right, Brent. I noticed that too. Like things, Matt, you're right. Things are starting to kind of shift. I think they're just really aggressively competing with each other, I guess, right? It's obvious there too. But now, the thing is, for you guys, if you're doing paid ads, if you're doing like, let's say you have a seed campaign going, for your video views, and you've got something to keep that awareness out there, we just want to monitor the traffic that you're getting so that we can retarget all the landing page leads, right? So if we can create your structure so it's evergreen and it's always there as framework, then you can just keep plugging and playing. But understanding that the difference between YouTube and Facebook, like a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll take their same exact funnel, their same exact experience, their same campaign, creative and everything from Facebook and throw it right onto YouTube. And then they're like, why doesn't it work? Because it's a totally different platform, right? And understanding this is super important. It helped me a lot, and I think it should help you guys as well. Now, when we go into search keywords, I'm going to go to the next slide. So examples, obviously, like going and searching on Google. Once you search on Google, you're going to see that your YouTube ads are also going to show up there. So if I go MMA Timmons, let's say, okay. So if I go there, there's some videos there, but what'll happen is if it's something highly competitive, I don't know, let me try Toronto.
Ah, that was my video. Haha.
What's that?
That was my video.
Oh yeah, it showed up or no? I think it did.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you're in Timmins already. Perfect. Haha.
Fitness, let's just say Toronto. Okay, that's strange. It's not showing up here. But you'll see ads here for certain searches for YouTube as well. That's all I wanted to show you guys. But then when we go here and we search something like, I'm just gonna put this because one of our clients sells these jackets. Shoot, I'm not even spelling it right. Moose knuckle jackets. Moose knock. Okay, let's see if that shows up. Okay, well, I'm not really doing justice to the search, but basically, when you search something that, sorry, one second. And maybe I'm going too specific. Winter jackets for women. Okay, so finally there's something showing up. Okay, so now here we've got some organic content, of course, here, but you've got suggested products. That's Google Shopping. I mean, you guys get the idea. Basically, it's going to show up in searches, right? Like if you search something, you're going to have, typically you'll have a video show up here, okay? It's possible somebody's not using it right now. I don't know, maybe they're not serving this area. I have no idea. But you'll get a video pop up here that's sponsored, and you get that a lot for marketing services as well. I see it quite a bit. Either it's underutilized for this market right here, or I don't know what's happening. But the point is, you guys, I'm pretty sure for your product and your service, somebody's probably not using that aspect of the ads, right? So if you can be there, you're going to be there if someone's searching for, you know, BJJ or kickboxing or fitness in your area, and you can target just that area, so you don't have to worry about overspending. Okay. So now I'm going to give you a little preview of the Ads Manager in Google to give you an idea of the campaigns. Okay. So now I'm going to go into a campaign here, which is just a basic engagement campaign. This one was paused, sorry. Okay, so this campaign, I have it on very low, $3 a day. The purpose of this campaign is simply just to get landing page views at a very low cost, okay? So the purpose of this campaign is just to introduce the product and to get the landing pages. So what I did with this one is use discovery ads, and I posted a video, and you can see from my metrics, I'm getting 32 cents for a click, okay? And more often than not, these are going to be from searches, right? They could also be discovery, which is like display ads, where it's just simply just pushing it out there. You could get some of these ads in actually your Gmail as well. So they kind of bundle everything together, and they'll show your ads in multiple placements, if that makes sense, right? Now the search ads are right here. This is basically search traffic. Okay, so this one here, I got 190 clicks, sorry, and I paid $1.30 average cost per click, and I spent 246 bucks, but I got a bunch of conversions from this one, and I got really strong remarketing traffic, right? And the purpose of this is, hey, how's he feeling now? Is he better? anyways, guys, so 190 clicks here for the search traffic. And basically here, we're looking at just basically getting them to the site and then looking at how many leads you get. So we'll take the 190 clicks, because it's a traffic campaign and not conversion, it's not counting that for you, right? So you're still getting the video views, and then you're getting that traffic to your page. And then what's happening is you're doing the math behind it and saying, I spent 246 bucks, and you filter it for the month. And at the month end, you say, I got, let's say 20 leads, okay? Then out of those 20 leads, you take 246.31 divided by 20, and that gives you the cost per lead, okay? And then you drill that down further from there and say, how many leads does it take to create a client? We went over that so many times in the past, right? So that's basically just an overview of, of what the difference is between the two, and to understand that there's definitely the educational part of it that's important, okay? And now on slide number 5, I go, Facebook and Google are the best options for small business, and the differences that set them apart we spoke about. And sorry, the differences that set them apart is that Facebook is much better for interest-based audiences, okay? And what that means is, again, that somebody's scrolling on their phone, they're casual, they're going through it, and literally it's just about them being interested in a product. Which brings me back to, these days where you have the attention of the customer, which could be the branding, and then you've got the second part where the interest, but you may not get them from interest to action right away. You've got to create that desire, okay? So to create that desire, the best way to do this is to retarget them. So the people that you know that are interested, you can retarget them to create that intent. So on Facebook, you're kind of hacking the system by using retargeting. It's not a hack, everyone does it, but very few people in our industry do it. And this is something that we can really, really capitalize on. And again, the framework's there, you can keep using it. Your retargets could be $1.50 a day, and they're just constantly running. And then we go now to Google, which is actually YouTube and Google. When you go to the Google Ads Manager, you can set up 2 types of campaigns, 2 general types, and one's going to be for Google and one's going to be for YouTube. And then there's many different variations of those. This is going to be much better for intent-based, okay? But you also want to make it entertaining, and that's what I keep pushing, is that you want to make sure that your content is just not strictly only educational, right? Because the intent for people on Google is to, yes, get the education, but there has to be that offer that you have that's going to make them pull the trigger, okay? And then when we go back to this here, and we're looking at a YouTube campaign, you get the attention, you get the interest, because you already know that they have more intent, okay? So if they have more intent and you put in an inventory of 10 keywords that you know that are good, and we can track and look at, these are the keywords that are doing well and they're getting people in to watch our videos, then we know that also that they have desire, because they're going to be further down the funnel because they're already intent based, okay? So you're going to get that action a lot easier on that lead. Most likely, the lead is going to be a lot stronger from the retarget aspect, okay? Like the top, you're going to still get, but you got to focus on the rest, because the intent is the key. It's going to bring you closer to the action, making it easier for you guys when you're selling. And any questions, guys? My favorite picture here.